Hello, this is Charlie Brawley back at you with another video. This is going to be a slightly different video because here I'm going to talk about maybe the world as we see it and what's happening in the world and why I continue to try and drill in your head the concept of limited variable principles, or as I like to call it, the limited variable system. Known as roulette. Roulette has limited variables that are consistent, that if you looked at it from a perspective of investment, from a perspective of business, it's literally the most predictable and consistent form of trade financially. Here's why I say that. One of the reasons why I get a lot of people who are in the stock market or used to trade or whatever, they come here because I've been preaching the concept of limited variables and the calculation of risk. For those who don't understand this, you're probably having a bad time playing roulette too. But for those who do, I mean, if you don't understand it, just go through a lot of my videos. I talk about this quite often, actually. But one of the things about investment and in business, one of the reasons why I preach roulette so much is because it creates a system where the variables that create financial outcome can be sharply calculated and they never change. They're few, they're many, but they're consistent. What I mean by that, for example, if you look at this pattern, like red, black, black, red, black, black, red, black, black, I'm going to say that it's not going to continue doing this. So what I'm going to do is bet the next three black, 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 right? For example, let's just see what happens. And one immediately. Now, am I just this Nostradamus guy that just knows that I'm going to win within three? Or do I understand the concept of patterns? Right? Like I could have bet, there is one of my systems that I have in the bundle package is called Anomalix. Anomalix talks about this. Okay. The problem with most people though, when they're investing or when they're playing roulette is that you have a gambling problem and you just don't know how to build and take your money and leave. That's most people's problems. They want to do it extremely quick. They want to do it all day, but they want to just act as if this is not a financial tool. It is. It has limited variables though that form themselves in patterns. When you understand that, you can begin to adjust your trade as you would in the stock market according to these patterns. The difference is though, in the stock market, we have a thing where we have what we call variables that are uncontrollable, such as the coronavirus. What this is doing is creating a lot of fear in the market, and as a result, as you see here, this is now the stock market's worst week since 2008, when the stock market was mired in the financial crisis. If you are a business owner, if you are an investor, because of these fears, it could not only affect your financial outcome, but you'd have no calculus on this. And you're probably losing a lot of money. If it continues to go this way, people will be losing everything. Why? Because they do not know how to calculate their risk. They don't understand the variables that create risk. This coronavirus is a risk variable that no one could calculate. And as a result, we have the worst market since 2008. Millions and millions and millions of dollars are being lost because of the failure or inability to calculate risk. In roulette, however, the patterns that flow within the game are very consistent. Very consistent. You can even look at these last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can make a wager against a pattern based upon this, that this will not continue. For example, the next 3 will not be red, black, black, red, or the next 4. And I would have won. So because it wasn't red, black, black, red, I've won on that one. So that's 2 major wins in a row, completely based upon pattern flow. And this is just simple stuff. But one of the reasons why I think you should take this serious, and the things that I'm saying serious, is because many of you are about to lose your jobs. The reason why you're going to lose your jobs is because a lot of fear is being pumped into the world about the coronavirus. No one wants to shake hands. You don't want to go anywhere, and you're going to be limited to where you can go soon if this continues. So, listen. You guys probably, and I'm not saying this so that you can buy something from me. I mean, if you do, great. And I'm going to talk about a few of my programs, by the way. But regardless of whatever you're doing, the concept of making money, and hear this really clearly, the concept of making consistent money is your ability to calculate the risk of how your money is traded. What are the variables that create the profit? And what are the risk variables that create the losses of your money? If you are an investor, you do not have a calculus on this type of stuff. You don't know, you can't calculate it. This is the reason this guy has this face he has on his, the look on his face. Many of you look like that when you play roulette. Why? Because you do not have programs or strategies that are based in risk reduction, and or you have a lack of discipline and a lack of understanding or knowledge of what you're doing anyway. All right. So let me also say this too, with this coronavirus, this has nothing to do with roulette, but let me just say this real quick. You know, the media does a really good job at trying to create fear. I don't know what they're doing this for, the reason that they're trying to promote this fear in the coronavirus, when the truth is it actually has a 96.6% survival rate. Go look up the numbers. It's 96 plus. Well, I'm giving it 90. Well, my last calculation, based on what I saw, it was 96.6% survival rate. A 96.6% survival rate is pretty darn high. The question becomes, how do we eliminate the spread? But the survival rate is extremely high. But they don't exacerbate it that way. They have the hazmat suits. They got people spraying everybody down. Everybody's running around in fear. Right? And these, because, oh God, there's been quarantine. We're all going to die. There's a 96.6% survival rate. So what is going on really? One thing that could be going on is that they're doing this to drop the market so low for investors, right? 2, I think they also may be doing this to prepare you for all digital currency. Why? Because they're saying the coronavirus is now spread on money. So if you touch money, currency, then it could also be on that. So they're going to start moving toward the concept of cashless society. 3, if you look at some of the videos, they always are pointing to someone's head, right? They always got this gun like towards someone's head. I'm not a Bible thumper, but there was this scripture that talks about in Revelations that in the end times, and I see this differently. I don't see end times as someone's coming back to save you, but I think it's a change of time. In the end time, the only way you'll be able to buy, sell, or trade is if you have the mark on your head or in your hand. So they're getting you conditioned to accept this new way, this new form of government that is trying to impose itself on the people. And the people are ignorant, enough to just allow it because you are being conditioned through fear to accept it. Okay? It's just like roulette. People say roulette is unbeatable. Well, if you made one bet and you made $10 million, did you beat the game? See, the thing of it is, when you change what you see, the things you see will change. Change how you see things, and the things you see will change. That's what I meant. So your perspective on how you see things is what creates your outcome. I told you guys I'm going to have a video talking about how the keys to success, one of which is your perception, how you see things. The only reason why I've had success with this game is because of how I see the game. I don't see it as a ball and a wheel. I see it as patterns. And then I calculate the frequency of patterns. The bundle package, I'm getting ready to do a video talking about the bundle package where I'm gonna show you how to play on the backside of all the thresholds. I have a spreadsheet that you can use. I actually have another program, another strategy that you can use called Streetwalker. So you'll be able to play on streets. How you can look and you just track everything to the backside of its threshold. Of course you'll need the bundle package to do it, but I'm gonna show you how to do that because the game is too limited. Okay, the variables are what they are, but the only way I was able to do that or even fathom the concept of even thinking this way was because I had to change the way I saw it. If I accepted what people said to me, that it's unbeatable. That's just the dumbest idea. One bet could make you a multimillionaire. So what do you mean it's unbeatable? The concept of the game is not to sit and play it all day. Don't let these people fool you guys. Don't allow. It's almost ignorant to even think that the way to beat the game is to play it all day. What fool does that? The concept of living is all about having time to live. Your obligation is not to sit and work or even play this game all day. But it's your obligation is to build over time, build wealth. So with that said, guys, don't let this Corona thing trip you out. Of course, wash your hands, be safe, be careful where you go. That's with anything you do, but understand that there's another side to this that I see, and they're over. For example, in last year, the flu virus had a 92% survival rate for everybody who was hospitalized for the flu. The same way that everyone is being hospitalized for Corona. That percentage that's being reported, that number of reported cases that's hospitalized, the survival rate for Corona is 96.6. Last year for the flu, for all those that reported and hospitalized, the survival rate was 92%. But you don't see people walking around in hazmat suits, putting these temperature things against people's heads. We're being conditioned, folk. The same way I tell you guys to wake up to this game is the same way I'm telling you to wake up to life too. Wake up to the world that you're living in. The people who run this world, they care nothing more than to usurp power and control over you. It's not about money for them. It's about power and control. Making you their complete slave, not just you, but your generations of your children, your children's children. You're going to be a slave. They will be slaves to the empire that comes next. You've got to be prepared, not even prepared. You got to understand that, because once we all understand that, we the people have the power to do whatever we want. It ain't but a small group of idiots who's running this. The only reason they get away with it is because we're trapped in the matrix. We're in the system. And one of the ways to get out is to understand how money works. if you think starting businesses and investing, though you may have success, you still don't know how to calculate your risk. Most people come to the casino and win. That's the truth. Most people who go to the casino win. But the reason why they become end losers, they don't know how to take the money. So what does that say about you? When you're up 100% and you don't know how to walk away. You can't blame anybody but yourself. You have to get rid of the mentality that you've been programmed to think when it concerns money and time. You have to think about the variables that control risk. And how does it affect you? The coronavirus, the coronavirus and any other type of thing that comes your way, if you're an investor in the market, what's next? You can't calculate it. You gotta get, and I'm gonna say this and I'll be done. The rise of the online casino is about to boom because of this. And soon we're going to be, if you're part of the mentor program, I have one of my students, we're working on this right now. And he's one of the most consistent and faithful guys who, if you are a part of the mentor program, you will be allowed to play with us. But we have to do it where we are completely in control, because a lot of our students are out of control. And a lot of people just absolutely lack discipline. They have their own way of doing things, and certain things we can control, certain things we can't. It's okay though. It's all right. We're not necessarily trying to control everybody. It's just that we're just trying to win. And I don't think we have a lot of time to BS with people. So for those who have the bundle package, I have a video, like I said, that's coming out. I'm going to show you how to play all of the strategies. Let me see if I can pull up the spreadsheet just to give you an idea of what this will look like. You'll be able to play all the strategies, and I'm going to show you how to play them on the backside, where you're looking on the backside of the thresholds. And you'll be able to track all of the different strategies, and you're only going to be playing on the backside. I have Street Fighter is a new one that I'm going to be coming out with, that in the new video I'll talk about. The Red Black 32 for columns, that's the most recent one I just posted. And then Mentorship 3+3 Under, for those who are in the mentorship program. It's the same thing. You could play on the backside of that. You just have to sit and study it to understand what the thresholds are. I'm going to be talking about the concept of thresholds as it concerns permutations and all of the strategies. You could literally take all of this stuff, track them until you reach the maximum or the most, or get as close to the maximum threshold as you've ever seen them go. And because you have so many strategies that are based in that type of risk assessment, it'll be pretty easy to get your wins and be consistent doing that, because these variables don't change. They do not change. Okay? These variables do. And because they change, the way, depending on your product, depending on your business or your service, it can have a huge effect on what you're doing. You may, the price of whatever you're doing is going to go up. Those are called risk variables. If you are in the shipping business, you may miss shipment because of the fear in the market. It's going to increase your pricing. Those are risk variables. You've got to be wise and cognizant of all of this stuff. And earlier, but when you saw me win that red, the only reason I did that was because I was looking at the flow of the game. Period. It's called an analysis. So in the next video, one of the videos I'm going to be talking about the bundle and how you could play on the backside of all of this. I'm going to include the 2 new strategies with it. If you're in the mentor program, you could do the exact same thing, except you could use the 3+3 under, and you could play on the backside of any of that. And as you guys, if you're in the mentor program, you know that goes forever. So that's going to be easy wins for you. One of the things I like to do when I teach people is to force them to think. Force you to think. But at this time, at this stage in time, the way the world is headed, you're going to start thinking. Because it's getting really nutty and strange out here. And also in that same spreadsheet, I'll have the all of the progressions that you can go through and use. And I'm going to show you how to use the progressions and how to look at them and how to make adjustments that way. So basically, with the bundle package, you're going to learn how to play on and track every single strategy toward the backside of its threshold. But you're going to have to spend some time to look at games. It's just like education. You have to go to school. It's not going to be given to you. You have to actually look at it and study it. Look at the strategy and see, and I'm going to talk about what thresholds are in this next video. I'm not going to talk about all that now. But what I just wanted to really do is just alert you guys to the reason why you probably want to take this a little bit more serious. Okay? Because this is real, folks. You may not have a job or your business may suffer. The market is crashing and it's continuing to plummet. And I'm not trying to even create more fear. I'm just showing you what's actually happening as it concerns capitalism and money. And when I talk about risk variables, for example, we've seen, look at this. This is black, red, 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 black. Well, this pattern is going to come up again within probably the next hour, if not right now. So my whole point is that variables in the game of roulette, they repeat and they repeat, they repeat. You just got to understand your strategy and how to play against what I call the backside of the threshold of whatever it is that the strategy is. All right. So I'm going to be talking about that in the next video. And talking about thresholds and how to look at it, how to use all those strategies just by monitoring the game, making note of each strategy, where it is, how far the thresholds are, where you want to play in it, and just simply execute it. If you have the numbers game, you might see where, for example, you might have seen where it went maybe 9 or 10, right? Well, you would wait for a 9 or 10 with the numbers game. But while you're waiting for that, right, there's all these other different strategies that have a gazillion, a whole lot of opportunity for you to play on the backside. Black tie. I'm going to show you how to play within here. And you could literally track all of these numbers. I mean, it's guys, just trust me on this. Okay, just trust me on it. So anyway, guys, again, just don't let this thing fear you. Don't stop living your life. Understand that I think the media is just doing a huge job at driving fear, and they're driving fear for what I call the Zionists, or they're driving for the masters of the world, of which they only concerned about the future legacy of their power. And if they can create fear to do that, these are some very nasty, evil people. No doubt about it. Very nasty, evil people who will want to do it. because we do not have to have the world that we're in. We could really create a whole new one. But there are very evil, nasty people who can care less about you or your family and can care less if y'all died tonight. They really don't. But we got to care. We got to look at it for what it is. So when it concerns money, like I said, whether you're using my program or anything you're doing on your own, it's all about risk calculation. Roulette, maybe other ones, but particularly Roulette, has the most consistent, lowest variables of any financial trade that I've seen. But the problem is because it moves so fast, at the speed at which it moves, is what creates a lot of problems for people because they can't leave. You would have made money so quick that you think you didn't work today. You didn't do anything today because it happened so fast. That's the illusion of time and money, is the speed upon which in this regard, in which it moves. You got to get past that. You really, really got to get past that. All right, guys. Anyway, so I'm not going to continue to belabor the point. Continue to watch the videos. Like I said, I have a couple more videos coming out. Like I said, one of my other videos is my secrets to success, the concept of repetition and perception. I'm going to talk about that, how it actually changed my life and the way I see things, and ultimately it continues to do that, and how I translated all of that into the game of roulette. All right, guys. All right, until the next time, take care of yourself and each other. I will be back soon.